Hopefully they behave. That's my Jack Russells. Hello, my beautifuls. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. And oh my golly, wow. So I did go live last night on our second channel, which is 1111 Crime Story. And we just kind of hashed some things out. We need to talk about my oops. When I make a mistake, I am adamant about correcting it as soon as possible. And I definitely made a oops. And I wanna clear that up. And it led me to something even bigger. So let's get into that. We're going to get into Streamline Entertainment's and Marvin's first ever going live. And let me tell you, that in itself, just the whole thing that you're going from recording a video where you can edit, where you can cut out things and you can put it all together. You can literally take your last thought, make it your first. That's gone. And now it's live. And there's 1,000 little buttons. So I want to talk about that as well as the information that was shared. We will be addressing that. And then we'll see where we go from there. There's so much to talk about in the Jay Slater case. So if you are new to my channel, I welcome you in, and I hope you'll get comfortable, enjoy us, and we'll be on here we're going to try to keep things a half hour so that everybody can enjoy it, even those that don't have a great deal of time. So without further ado, we are an interactive live audience is what we have. We have an interactive live chat. They are very important. We work together, you and me, as well as my replay audience is also actively working on the Jay Slater case. So I want to welcome you all and welcome back, welcome home. If you're returning, thank you. Thank you for staying with me. Now, let's get into my boo-boo. Big time boo-boo. And I'm so humbly grateful I'm the one that caught my own big, huge mistake. Because that's just like, I'd much rather be the one to own up to it on my own. So I do read the comments. I don't have time to read them all. I wish I did, but we are growing, and I dedicate my time to making sure I'm thoroughly actually reading the comment, and it takes time. So I can't answer everybody's emails or comments. But the ones I do lead me into research. And when I brought out all this information about the suppressed venue of the DJ Black Traffic from the Papagayo nightclub, I was like, aha, that makes me, in my opinion, I focused on BT. And I was like, what is that? Now, I didn't accuse him of nothing, but I was like, does he look like this on the stairs? And does he do this? And da-da-da-da-da-da. But then somebody asked me at 11:11 in a replay comment, is it just him? Or is that the other DJs too? And I was like, I think it's just him. I just went and looked last night. Oh no. It's them all. Anybody DJ'd at the Papagayo or Gayo, whatever you want to call it, they don't have it on any of the bumps. So what do I mean by bump? Well, press releases, ticket masters that say, hey, here's a good artist that's going to be playing at our venue. If you'd like to see his past stuff, click here. It's gone. It's gone on everything. Like if they played at Papagayo, Jezza and Jod are gone. Daria, Black Traffic, they are not being promoted. And I don't think it's by their choice. Because then, like, I stayed on research after that pretty much straight through. I got about 4 hours of sleep because I was on till 4 o'clock in the morning. Didn't go live until 2 something. Or 1:30 or something, done at 3:30. It was a lengthy live last night. We had so much to discuss, but in that, it led me to watching some information that in the very beginning, when Jay had just been found, not the very, very beginning, but the beginning when Jay's remains allegedly were found. I believe they had him the whole time, but whatever. Choose to believe how you'd like. Chris Tenerife went on into an opening line in one of his videos that I happened to watch, and then I went and verified it by checking all over, like the NRG's press releases and all this post NRG, so after it, to see if they were like, look how much, look how much fun we had. Look at all these fascinating moments. And I was like, OMG. Chris Tenerife comes out and says that there is a blackout, a media blackout put out by Spain. Like the government. Like, don't talk about this. You cannot talk about it to the media. Nobody can talk to the media, and the media can't publish it if you do. It's literally a blackout, like, don't do it. And so I was like, OMG, what does that mean? How do we go? And I'm fired up because that's huge. How do we go from a 19-year-old unknown kid, just a normal, everybody got the same haircut, everybody looks like this kid, just one J, to a government cover-up, a governmental don't even bring it up. I hear crickets. Right? So it all is around that last night at that club. And then I was like, OMG, I'm so glad I have a lack of sleep. Here's why. The light bulb went off. I'm like, they don't gotta pull Jay out of that building for 2-3 days if they don't want to. If they're corrupt enough to have had security issues in the past, and then they're and they've shut down from January to March to make some improvements, right? I don't think it was just facial improvements, surface. I think it was security. I think it was all kinds of stuff, all right? So I got to thinking about the whole scenario, and last night I suggested that whether you want to choose it in your view, you're like, okay, I think he was cut by a cactus in the club, and you know what I'm saying. Or he just absolutely was so off his face because somebody was spiking him, and he either fell backwards and damaged his head severely, maybe on the bottom of a step. Maybe he fell backwards off something. I mean, we saw him falling all over. And so whether he's stabbed by a cactus or he falls and hits the floor, what would they do in that scenario? Well, you've got the lights flickering in and out, and even prolonged little bursts of light that flash where you can't see for a minute, and then it goes dark, and it's called the NRG rave, right? Where's our little light? You know, let's see, what can we do here? And what I'm saying basically is that, oops, it went dark, completely dark. Let's just say that. Soon as somebody's like, what's going on over here? Blah, 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 blah. You got a handful of people bussing around somebody on the floor. The first thing that's going to happen, I guarantee you, is they're going to put a human chain that blocks the view around the person. The second thing that a corrupt place is going to do is drop the lights and say they've blown a fuse or whatever you want to call it. They got no energy. Ha ha ha, how funny. I ain't laughing. And then they're going to ask you to step out into the lobby for your own safety, carefully, everybody dismiss, get out there till we fix the lighting problem, and we'll bring you right back in. Now, we never do hear, even though there must be CCTV footage, we never hear Jay exiting. We have somebody suspicious on the stairs. I don't know if that's Jay. I don't know who that is. It's weird. If it's Jay, he's grinding his jaw so incredibly bad. But his clothes are never confirmed to be found on his body, but rather his belongings near his body. And that's suspicious in itself. But let's back up to the Papagayo. We have a man down, right? Man down. And they probably have a code that. We'll call it code black, right? Code black. And it's blackout, right? Code black, because the lights go down. Now, everybody's out of there. There'll be a couple people that are told to take that person somewhere. Take them, get them medical help, all that, whatever. If he's already DOA, whoa, we got big old problems. They're not going to want the bad publicity. I can't even say all that. Bad publicity. They're not going to want bad PR. And in not wanting bad PR, we see how strongly they don't want bad PR. They are like massive across the board media blackout. Completely. Don't even talk about us. Don't even say his name. Don't even say his initials. Don't talk about Jay Slater. Not only that, we've got all these little hedgehogs that come into our little venue as little trolls under the bridge, and they're targeting everyone that is trying to get answers. So that's another don't talk about Jay Slater move. And so don't even suggest that they would not try to hide a body, because it's being proven that they do. Okay? I'm just saying they, not tied to any entities at all. So, in this scenario, if Jay hit the floor for a stuck cactus, or he passed out, or whatever the reason is, alive or dead, they're going to do a blackout, in my opinion. They're going to get everybody out of there for a few moments to fix the lighting situation. That's why it's called blackout, right? All right, so now, where's he go? Well, if he's DOA, they got to have some time. They weren't planning on this. And so what may have happened is the person that I believe is affiliated with Papagayo, which is Roman in some form, even if he just does favors for those that want to promote the island, may have called Ab and LK to take care of the issue. LK looking so much like the boy that he could get in the car with Rocky and Ab and look like he's heading out to Masca as Jay. Now they got days to bring that body out in any kind of a tote you want. And I'm not saying any of that happened. I'm just opening your mind so that we can really look at it and see, could Jay have been in that car? That's a possibility too. So we really need to understand, why on earth would it be a radio silence, media silence across the board over there so quickly? Like, the British even were like, we'll come help search. And they're like, nope, we got this. And then they call the search off. They don't want the body looked at. Maybe the body's not decomposed the way that it would have been expected if it was laying out there that long. What do you guys think? Pucker Princess says he could have well consumed too much, but just can't believe the mountain climbing cliff story. Amen. Hi, Brett Reynolds. How are you? Let me get chat pinned. Oh, I switched things up again on my screen. All right, you guys. So I definitely want to focus a lot more on that in the coming days. I just want to touch base on that info. As Marvin's, it wasn't Roman at the Papagayos, Jody Dean. You don't know, and I don't know if he even had to be there. His place, Masca, was a place that Jay Slater allegedly inhabited. So in some way, Roman may have done a favor via the call. I never said he was standing in Papagayos to do that favor. So just try to keep an open mind. Joanne B, yes, that's strange response. Yes. Jodine said the body got there too quickly, in her opinion. Poor Jay seems so naive. I agree on that. Hey, Christy. Oh, it's Kirsty. Hello, lovely. Makes me mad that they may get away with his murder, in my opinion. If my son, I would be chomping at the bit to get justice for him. I couldn't live with myself if he didn't have justice. It's heavy. Hey, crazy cat, hence the blood found there and the place getting cleaned out and painted. Okay. Here's the deal. I gotta get my slippers off for this. I'm throwing them down like I'm all like, go time. It's about Masca. Are you ready? Think on this matter. What if Duncan Smith is right, which I do know he is doing the work on the fake Airbnbs that Roman likes to claim he has, right? He likes to put it out there and advertise it with fake pictures. Hear me out. I don't believe personally that Airbnb was an Airbnb ever. It was a storage unit. It was a storage unit. There was nobody staying in that place. Nobody ever stayed at Masca. But the police was going to come and investigate, so they had to repaint it. They needed to get a bed in there and a pitcher of water and all that. That's why I ain't got no electric. That ain't got no air. Nobody gonna sleep in that little moldy little stucco building. So I don't buy that. I think it was renovated because it had been a storage unit. You feel me? Amanda says, Wax said Warren said the auntie's account was fake. And that's what I went over last night. Go watch my other live very late at night. I was like, I just can't buy the auntie account being an auntie at all. The fact that they accused Streamline of asking the money from the family is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, bullocks, in my opinion. Made up. I brought up all kinds of incidences last night on the 1111 Crime Story, our second channel, where that little fake auntie was wrong, was jumping to conclusions, and always pointing at Brad. People were like, it's Lucky. No, it's not. It's Chris. No, it's not. Neither one of them will throw Brad under the bus. It's somebody else, but it's not an aunt of Jay, in my opinion. And now Warren has cleared that up too. Didn't think it was real, says Wise Owl. 100% Mama D and Roman owned it. Right, Casey Cat. Right, my Casey Cat. Thank you, Crazy. So let's think about that. Masca's nothing but this little place near, because they're not going to tell us anything real. So Masca is near where I believe they took Jay. See, I listened really close to Chris Tenegreath last night. He explained, and I went and checked it, and he's right. If I go one little town over, right before Masca, one town over, I can take a little road all the way down to a marina. Now, what's weird about that marina is the destination that the Maraba boat allegedly docked at 8:10 a.m. on the morning Jay allegedly disappears. So that's weird. So what Chris Tenegrief was trying to say, and he didn't even think about this, is he's like, well, here's what I think happened, right? This is after Jay was found. And he's like, think about it, right? Just like Ahab. You got to use your mind, your brain, right, bro? Whatever. He's trying to tell us, Chris Tenegrief is trying to convince us in this recording of his live, that Jay left Masca thinking that he was going to that resort by going in a upside down L shape. Like he would go straight down and then cut over on the beach to that resort. That's what I got out of it. But I was like, holy shnikes, Batman. If you're trying to get rid of a body, why would you take it all the way to Masca and miss the exit, right? Where the boat's waiting. So then I was like, the second car that Haley Comet talks about comes at 7, leaves at 7:30. Well, that gives you 40 minutes to get from that little Airbnb down to that little boat dock on that town over and go down through that little area. And wow, what sweet timing is that? Also, last night in our discussion, we bumped upon the fact that, and this is interesting, that little white car that shows up in Masca between 7 and 7:30, that's the exact time slot of the blanket photo, which is at 7:15 a.m. allegedly. So what do you think the people were doing in the car that arrived? Getting a blanket photo? Getting the last screenshots? Their timing's too perfect with that little ping, right? That little snap. These are my thoughts. So, that's kind of what I felt on that. Come, Mr. Tallyman, bananas. Don't worry. Be happy. Your spelling is brutal. Real Reggae is owned by a group of dodgy pods. No license for hotels, bars, and clubs, says Pucker Princess. Probably right. The Aunt Lucy mom, in my opinion. I think Lucy would protect Brad. I do. Just saying. Welcome, Christy, to Starlight Seeds. So, you guys, we are coming up on a time frame where I want to spend some time with my members during the holidays. You guys support me all year round. You just donate money and you support the channel by being a member. And it's time for me to give back because I don't do very much, if anything, for members. And so we are going to be doing a members live, and it will be only members that will stay members and all that. And it's just going to be a Q&A. It doesn't have to be about Jay Slater. It doesn't have to be about anything. It could be about what do I like for breakfast. It could be about your aunt and uncle getting married. I don't care. Just time with my beautiful starlights. So, Kirsty, I welcome you to invite you into that. You'll be able to take part of that. We might play with the dogs. I don't know. You guys, we're just going to spend some quality time together. You've been so supportive, and I want to make sure you all know I appreciate you. So watch the community tab. You'll find a little announcement when we're going to have that. Stay tuned. Karen Markey says the B&B is used for nefarious reasons, in my opinion. All right, you guys, I'm going to jump to a new topic. We will go further into the other topics, I assure you, but I'm trying to keep it moving so we don't miss the topics. Streamline Entertainment, Mr. Marvin, I love you. I think the world of you, and I really appreciate all the hard work you do for the Jay Slater case and other cases that you work on. You are a real gentleman at heart. I still support you 1000%. I disagree with the reporter's info on almost every level. But that being said, you yourself did not do anything wrong. I stand by you. Now, for those of you out there, I would like to remind you, and this is a little pat on my own back, to be honest, a live is not easy. I spent, like, when I hit 20,000 subs till about 25,000 subs, I spent 90% of my time on the live with people saying, we can't hear you because my sound was off. I spent time where they're like, you're coming out like a guitar. Rah, 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 rah. I spent time where I was fuzzy. Nobody could see me. It was just a giant mess, and it took a lot of hard knocks to be able to finally get it to where I could do a live. I had to invest in decent cameras. It's completely different when you do a live because YouTube doesn't have the best processing equipment. You need to be able to do a visual when you do a live. And so one thing I can absolutely say is, Marvin, nobody comes into our home as creators and says, this is how to do YouTube channel. Nobody comes in and says, if you're going to do your first live, here's how you do it. And so I think you did your very best. You held your own. But one thing I do want to bring up to everybody is, even if you disagree with a creator, which you should at times, you should disagree with me too, if your gut tells you to do so. It doesn't mean you have to stop liking them. I adore Marvin. I love Allie. I just disagree with everything that got shared about the gunshot wound, and even as far as the boat in the middle of the day, daylight. No, I don't buy any of that. That's a tiny little boat, by the way. It's very quick. But in that, you guys, these people are not getting paid. Allie didn't get paid. So if you say somebody's wasting your time, then if you're so adamant, don't complain about it. Make a change in your life. If you don't want to hear that particular part of that program, tune in the next day. But don't not support someone or drop them like a cold potato just because you didn't understand what was being said either. Give them time. Streamline Entertainment Marvin has always, even when Dan O'Keefe screwed up, he stood by the fact that we should give the person time, catch their breath, and work through it a little bit. We need to treat people kinder in life. Marvin's not making a ton of money. Neither am I. I scrape by. If it weren't for, and this is the honest to God truth, Jennifer Swain, thank you, my love. If it weren't for Jennifer Swain and the other donations and the memberships, I absolutely could not afford to do this job. I would not be able to eat because just the video itself doesn't do much at all for YouTube. It's the memberships, it's the donations, it's the the views themselves. You do realize you have to have 1,000 views for $5. For $5. And that's on the high end of pay for some people. Some people are getting $2 for every 1,000. So when you see 8,000 views, you're like, oh, they must be making a fortune. They may have made $16. But it's people like Jennifer Swain and my Starlights and my Moonies and all the people that send me a little $2 PayPal or $1 PayPal, it all adds up. Now, I'm going to do it and scrape by because I also have other means of income, significant other means of income. And that's the only reason I can do YouTube. Otherwise, I would not be able to. So be kind to your creators because it's already tough enough with the trolls out there. Right? So be supportive if they're trying. If you disagree with it, tell them. I don't believe any of that. Allie Lovely, I do not buy damn straight anything that reporter told you, Allie. I really don't. Sorry, sweetheart. I just don't. I think that it was bizarre timing that the reporter's coming out and telling you stuff at the time that the inquisitions, or inquest as you guys call it, is going to be happening. Hey, Brett Reynolds. But yeah, a live, for other creators out there, if you're going to do lives, Start out with just you and StreamYard. Go on there and try to learn just those buttons first, because otherwise, to maintain it all gets overwhelming quite quickly. Now, I have a much more difficult time recording videos because I feel like I'm talking directly to you when we're on camera together, right? Electric Paramedic, hello lovely. Mama D. Abe's Veg Shop is a front out of Spain importing rugs and fruits in Morocco, and where it was put on a boat, etc., and brought to the land with shoreline, hence why the place in Masca, in your opinion. So that is interesting, right? Very much could be. I have no idea. I did find out that they take tea bags and they take the cocaina, and they make a crystal math, right? Do the math. A crystal, do the math. Ruh-roh, raggy. And they pack it in a tea bag and they put it up your bum. What? That's weird. There's all the PG tip boxes, but where's the tea? Those tea bags come in handy, don't they? Brings a whole new word to tea bag, a whole new meaning. Hey, Gary T. Hello, lovely. Hi, Karen. Walker, that's me. Hello. How you doing? We do need to look into the DJs more all around, but I also believe the club. I don't think it was the DJs themselves that are suppressing any of it. I think it was the standing order that NRG is to be suppressed for 2024 if it had anything to do with Sunday. Think about it. BDL's coffee shop allegedly never happened. But what if it did? But it's being erased. Papagayo's is being erased. It's as if NRG Festival was June 14th and 15th, but they just want to make it evaporate for the 16th. But they cannot, because we've got the Papagayos, Jezza and Jod. We've got Black Traffic there, all on videos by those in the crowd that were filming it at Papagayos that night on Sunday, the 16th. It happened. But why do they not want us to think it happened or question anything about that day? Happens to be the very time frame and the last known proof of life for Jay Slater. So tune in tonight where we're going to go into much longer detail and just have, well, it might be morning for you. I've heard it's about, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning over in the UK and Spain and places like that. But I will be going live tonight at midnight. I'm going to get a little snooze in the meantime. I will get my PJs on and I will meet you where we can go far more in depth into all kinds of Jay Slater related things. But as I said, be kind to everybody. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We're going to get off here a little bit earlier today. That's my goal. I think we covered everything. I wanted to do that correction though. Like I said, what would a 19-year-old unknown, what could have happened to a 19-year-old unknown British kid that would cause a government to do a mass media blackout? I'll leave you with that. I love you so much. And with that, that is a wrap. Thank you, my beautifuls.